from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Because this is a proud damn state.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Arkansas wins. The Hogs are still dancing to the Elite Eight for the first time since 1995.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Good morning, and what a beautiful day it is in Columbia, South Carolina. I don't know what it's like in northwest Arkansas or in the River Valley right now, but it is gorgeous in downtown Columbia at Founders Park. And we welcome you into halftime. It'll be a shortened halftime, more of a three-quarters halftime today, leading you right into Game 1 of Arkansas, South Carolina, part of this Twi-Night. No, this isn't Twi-Night. This is split doubleheader. Twi-Night would be two games going right after each other, right? Split, 1 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Though here on the eastern side, it is 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock. So that's why I hate coming out here usually. Great to be with you, Phil Elson. Matt Smackdown Jenkins, who is on site at Arkansas Tech.
Yes, sir.
DJ Smackdown.
DJ Smackdown, yes.
That's right. I got to make sure we give the proper terminology today. Master Matthew Travis is in the headquarters studios of ESPN Arkansas. The boys are all split up today.
I know. I'm not really. I'm glad to be back at Tech. Don't get me wrong. And shout out to Miss Christy Wyatt, Tyler Tober, Dallas Hall, giving me hooked up here in the studio. But I'm not used to looking across and seeing a former student of mine and not seeing Matty T. And I'm a little bit sad about it this morning.
You're already getting separation anxiety.
I'm really getting separation anxiety because I'm used to seeing the ever gorgeous and ever smiling face of Matty T. Now I'm settled to look at Tyler Tober, which is not a pleasant sight.
Oh, that's all right. I'm looking at a beautiful baseball field right now that in a couple of hours is going to have another interesting game happening. Boy, what a game last night. What a win for the number one team in the country. And you just have to appreciate these wins for what they are. A team that is going on the road to a place where the home club has lost just twice, that hasn't lost very much in the last 3-4 weeks, and really did match Arkansas inning for the first 6. The Hogs had to piece those first 6 innings together with 3 different pitchers. Caleb Bolden, I felt, gave them everything that he could, and was a good sort of an open, although 3 1/3 a little more than the usual open. Thomas Farr was mowing him down for a while, with the exception of Robert Moore's first home run, and then the Oompa Loompa chance began, and all bets were off.
Oh,
one of the fun things about this right now, and I do the radio show through a studio microphone. That turns into the crowd microphone for the road games. So when you heard those Oompa Loompa chants on the radio broadcast last night, you were listening to that right through the microphone that I'm talking into right now. So I almost want to give this microphone the Oompa Loompa nickname. But what an answer to... I'll be flat out honest here. An obnoxious student section last night. They really were, in every sense.
Now, I've been seeing a bunch of tweets come across after the game. Did some Razorback fans get ejected last night or moved, or because of that you bring up the South Carolina student section?
I'm not sure what happened, but I did see, I can only pay attention to so much that's happening in the stands, but I could see security didn't get into it with a couple of Razorback fans. It looked like a father and a son combo, like early 20s son, maybe early 50s father. And I wouldn't say it was mostly good-natured. There wasn't any pushing and shoving or anything like that going on. It was just the student section for Carolina wasn't allowed to come behind the Arkansas dugout until after the 3rd inning. And then it was like somebody opened the door to the world's largest Volkswagen Beetle filled with clowns that were dressed as South Carolina students. And my gosh, they got on them yesterday. And I got to tell you, that didn't bother the third base dugout one bit.
No.
Not one bit. And it was plumb obvious the way that Arkansas answered those students. And more than that, answered a good baseball team in South Carolina for a 6-1 win. And, they did it in every way. They did it in the field with a bunch of really good plays. Brady Slavin's handling a bad hop at first, saving you 2 runs. Zach Gregory along the left field fence get a big double play off the bat from when Caden Monk is pitching in the 6th inning. You get Battles backing up an error by Nesbitt and firing to second to nail a runner for a big 3rd out. They really made some great plays in the field. The home runs obviously speak for themselves because that's what this team does better than everybody else. But then you get the bunch single for the RBI by Zach Gregory, some clutch hitting in the 8th from Christian Franklin, and more flat-out dominance from Kevin Kopps. I don't know what to say. It really was all around a very well-played game by the number 1 baseball team in the country.
I want to go back with what you mentioned earlier with the third base dugout just not being fazed by it. And I'd be curious because I think we might hear some of these stories throughout the rest of the season. But this team is battle-tested when it comes to you're the number 1 team in the country. And I feel like that this team is just, I guess, weathered the storm of, fans and chants and everything like that. And you could tell it got under Robert Moore's skin. I mean, heck, and then he even mentioned during the post-game show or post-game interview, which you can find on hitthatline.com, that I think he had his grandfather's in the hospital right now. So, yeah, I mean, you know that guy was playing with emotion on his sleeves all night, and then you get the Oompa Loompa chants going towards him. And I'll tell you what, I was sitting on the couch with a friend of mine. I won't say her name because I'm already up to a $100 fine list anyway. You knew the minute that thing left the bat, and then one of the best bat flips I've ever seen in my life. And you knew from the moment that thing was gone.
It was a pretty nice bat flip. And it goes to show, look, this is a team that will celebrate big moments, but they'll do it in a sort of a quieter way. That was a great moment for Robert Moore. Kevin
in a
Kopps,
professional way. Kevin, yeah.
Let's get to Kopps here for a moment. And if Dave Van Horn was being serious when he said in the postgame that he didn't even have his best stuff, I mean, 3 perfect innings. He almost had an immaculate inning yesterday, which I might have seen once in my life. He was 1 strike away from a 9-pitch, 3-strikeout inning and was ahead 0-2 on Brady Allen in the 7th inning. Allen hits a weak ground ball to shortstop. And it doesn't make Kopps any less dominating that he missed that immaculate inning by 1 strike, but I wouldn't be surprised if he achieves that at some point for the rest of this season. What a performance by Kopps. Caden Monk was terrific in the 6th, giving you exactly what you needed, inheriting 2 runners, didn't allow him to score. It was really an all-around well-played game. But you got to move on, too. Part of this is that Carolina hasn't been very good game 1 of a series. They're now 3-6 in game 1. They've lost 11 games. 6 of them have been game 1 of a series.
Interesting. Okay.
They don't lose game 2 or 3 very much. In fact, their record is 12-3 when it comes to games 2 and 3 on weekends because they've got their best pitchers going in games 2 and 3. Brandon Jordan and Will Sanders will throw the doubleheader today. And for the Razorbacks, you got Peyton Paulette game 1 today, still to be announced game 2. So, I'm going to go interview Dave Van Horn in just a couple of minutes when this segment concludes. And one question I've got for him is, you've piggybacked Patrick Wicklander with Peyton Paulette in a single game this year. Is there a chance, depending on the score, of course, and the situation, that you may think about doing the same thing? Because right now the philosophy is if you got a chance to win the game, you go out and win it. Now, it might mean Kevin Kopps. He only threw 34 pitches yesterday in those 3 innings, so he could come out and pitch in game 1. But perhaps they could piggyback Wicklander along with Paulette. Just a thought I've got, because now they have options. They have options now. We might see Connor Nolan at some point today. We might see Zebulon Vermillion. Still could see Ryan Costu. He didn't work too hard last night. The bullpen's in pretty good shape, and I know that was the main problem that we were thinking about coming into this series, where you're compressing 3 games into, about 27 hours for a team that's going on short rest. I don't know if that's a problem now.
Yeah, especially when you only go, like you said, only go through 4 guys. I mean, and that was probably the biggest question we had yesterday was how deep would you have to go into bullpen in game 1? And Phil, I think it's best case scenario. You only go 3 deep in your bullpen, and you still could theoretically throw all 3 of these guys today if you wanted to. I get in a sense. So I think this puts the Razorbacks in a really good spot here, and you just come out and get this game 2 victory, and then I guess throw everything out the window and ball out for the 3rd game and try to get the sweep. Because and I was mentioning this to my friend here earlier that. You get power through today, you got a whole week off heading into LSU for next Friday night with the Missouri State game getting canceled. So You're rested. You're ready to rock and roll. Let's go get this sweep today.
Brandon in Paris says the lesson for Carolina fans is to not upset an Oompa Loompa.
Exactly.
Hey, what do you want these Carolina students to shout at the Razorbacks today? Because they seem to answer those taunts with long balls. Let's test that theory. Let's give that a try. 877-377-6963. I'm taking off in a moment to go interview Dave Van Horn for the pregame show. Don't forget about the I'd Smoke That promo going on right now at Brad's Home Entertainment now through tomorrow. Qualified grills receive matching cover and free bag of pellets. Also, 18 months no interest payment option with approved credit. Brad's is your exclusive certified platinum Traeger dealer. You'll receive free assembly and burn-in with your purchase of Traeger Grill, 492-0700 or online at bradstv.com. We'll be right back on halftime.
The Hog Talk Podcast.
Hey, everybody, this is Kyle Sutherland, host of the Hog Talk Podcast.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old
payment. You've still got the selection on that as well.
Yes, we definitely do. I mean, we've got units out here right now that are less than $150 a month with approved credit. So come down here and see us and see what we have in inventory, guys. What we have right now, we have stuff as low as $150 a month. Hey, we've got the pre-owned diesels. We've got the new cars that still have $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 off of MSRP. Right now is the time to buy. Get down here and see us.
Even if you have a credit challenge, you can still get a great rate.
Yes. I mean, up to Tier 4 right now, they're offering 7.9% interest. So come down here and see us. I'm telling you, right now is the time to buy. We've got payments $150 or less with approved credit. They've got special APRs. They've got a ton of money off of these new ones. Right now is the time to buy.
Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Sallisaw.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey!
0-2 pitch. He struck him out swinging. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, Colin Burgess. Good night, South Carolina. Hogs win 6-1. This one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back to Halftime SmackDown. Matty T. Phil will be back here with us here in just a moment. He's interviewing Dave Van Horn for the IMG broadcast. Just a quick heads up for those of you just now tuning in. Halftime is going to be taking you till 12:30 today, at which point we'll jump over back to Phil Elson on IMG. Right here where you're listening to Halftime right now for the IMG pregame show, the Dugout Show, followed by Game 1 of today's doubleheader versus South Carolina starting at 1 o'clock p.m. Game 2 of that doubleheader will start at 6 o'clock p.m. 877-377-6963 is the number to call or text in. And out today, Matty, too. We've been kind of just trying to plan this thing out because I was originally not going to be here today, and then the game got moved to a doubleheader. So shout out to Arkansas Tech and my man Tyler for getting me hooked up here at Arkansas Tech. It's good to be back here, Matty. Kind of back to where the love of broadcasting started.
That's where you found the passion and decided that you're going to make a career out of this?
Yes. So I'm sitting in our TV studio right now just because that was the easiest spot for me to hook up to internet, but they've got a real nice radio studio back in the back. That's where I think me and Dallas – so I've got two buddies here. Or I've got one of my friends of mine here, Tyler Tober. He was one of my students back. He was an underclassman with me at BB. Then he came here, and I was one of his GAs here. And we did radio shows with him and my man Dallas Hall. Tyler's a little bit funnier than Dallas sometimes, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. But yeah, it's great.
Have they named the studio after you since you're like the most famous alum that's gone there?
I don't know if I'm
the SmackDown Jenkins studio.
You know what? They haven't renamed the studio. I was expecting like I'm blanking on.
They got to have a plaque or something with your face.
Either that, or I was thinking like the Drago Rocky 3 like flag that pops down from the ceiling, something like that. When I walk in, and just fireworks and everything else goes off. But we've had a lot of good people come through. We've got several former alumni that work with some of the Fort Smith and Northwest Arkansas TV stations. One in Mississippi, but I mean, obviously, I'm the most famous one, right? I mean, that doesn't make me sound.
You have to be.
That don't make me sound cocky at all or anything like that. So, no, it's great to be back here. Lots of good memories in this place. So, it's going to be a lot of fun today. Like I said, bless you, my friend. Goodness
my
gracious.
mic was off, so nobody heard me but
Oh,
you.
good. Okay, good.
But, yeah, I was having a sneezing fit.
I'm not used to doing a show on a commerce box like this, so forgive me for that.
SmackDown heard me sneeze about 5 times in a row.
Oh, Lordy. 877-377-6963 is the number to call or text in if you want to jump in on any of the conversation here today. We'll get a quick rundown of the show. Aaron Torres from Fox Sports Radio is going to be joining us at the bottom half of this hour, 11:30 a.m. Get to do some great college basketball conversation with him. Maybe even look at a little bit of some NBA draft. He mentioned some NBA draft coverage on his most recent podcast. I've got a question that I want to lead off this segment. Get your text messages in, your calls in. The Robert Moore bat flip. Matty, I assume you didn't catch the game last night. Did you happen to see the bat flip on Twitter?
I didn't catch it.
Okay, I need to send this to you. It is I'm not kidding when it's not the most like aggressive bat flip, but like Phil said, they're calling him Oompa Loompa, they're chanting at him and different things like that, and he hits the home run and just throws the bat. It's fantastic. I got my question I want to ask the listeners. What's the best celebration you've ever seen in sports? Can be Razorback, can be professional, anything that you've seen. Text it in, 877-377-6963.
Hey, how many texts do you think it'll be before somebody says tearing down the goalpost?
That's probably, I'll give it 5. The ones that come, some of the ones, and you'll probably agree with me on this one, Matt Jones dunking on the goalpost, which, I mean, that's – excuse me, iconic for so many reasons with Razorback fans. More professional. I remember Jose Bautista playing for the Toronto Blue Jays. Excuse me, but his bat flip, what he did right there. Phil mentioned one. Bobby Wilson, a former Arkansas Traveler, had the best one he ever seen, so we'll bring that back up with Phil. But so many great – I mean, it was a celebration that just I don't know. Like, you could tell that he had anger when he let go of that, and it was just like a sigh of relief in a sense. So that is – that we'll let some of these text messages come in. Your best celebration that you've ever seen. And like we mentioned at the top of this, the broadcast will start at 12:30 today with the IMG Dugout Show, followed by the game at 1 o'clock. Want to hit some of on the sports news real quick. Peyton Paulette will be on the mound this afternoon for the Razorbacks, and it's a TBA for game number 3 this evening. Maddie, me and you mentioned something yesterday off the air, and it was the announcement of Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. I think it's June 5th.
It's coming up pretty quick.
It's coming up really quick.
We'll see. That's when it's like it was tough for me because
right.
God, I don't know which. It's like, how do you root for a winner when you want to see both of them?
Both of them get knocked out.
Yeah. So
it's just like, is it weird that I want to have Logan Paul win just so he can knock out Floyd Mayweather?
But then Logan Paul's going to get all the accolades, and everybody's going to think, "Wow, he really is the toughest around." Do you want that? Do you want to live in a world like that?
I really don't, but I guess yeah. Well, now that I put it like that, I mean, heck, we've been able to live in a world with Mayweather whining and moaning and complaining about everything that he's done. So. Maybe that's what I need to do, huh?
I think honestly, if I had to pick one, I think I would pick Mayweather.
It's gonna be fun
because you've had to put up with Mayweather for years already.
That's a good point, and I can only imagine.
And I don't. And it's like can we have years and years of a Logan Paul being the toughest guy around?
That's a good point. That's a great point. That's coming up June 5th, and obviously we'll have more on that. I just wanted to bring that up for you guys. And also just a little bit of some other news tidbits coming across. Bobby Petrino, Matty T, remember him? The one that put
the motorcycle guy.
The motorcycle guy. Named Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year, taking Missouri State to a 5-1 record.
Hey, good for him.
Great for him. He finally got the job done.
Couldn't have given it to a better guy.
Something like that. Say that with a straight face into the camera. Led the Bears to a 5-1 record, co-champions in this spring conference season. 1-game winners last year. So shout out to Bobby Petrino and getting that done over there. Wish he could have done the same at Arkansas. Anyway, moving on from that topic. Got a few text messages coming in here of the best celebrations that you've seen. Before we get to those, we'll read some of these other ones. Bruce in Fort Smith. Going back to Phil's conversation he had before he dropped off here with us, if you're going to get onto a Razorback player, like what do you want them to say? Bruce in Fort Smith said, "Hey, South Carolina, get gone Goodhart today. Maybe he'll go yard 3 times." That is a great point. And Matt Goodhart doesn't need hardly any of the celebrations. JT in Hot Springs, he says he wants them to go after Christian Franklin, see him go 5 for 5, 2 home runs, and 7 ribbies today. Matty, I think we got Phil connected back in here with us. He's back after interviewing DVH.
There he is.
There he is.
Hi.
He saved us.
That might have been a little quicker than I thought.
Was that a good thing, or is that a good thing? That
were you able to get to all the important questions in such a short amount of time?
Absolutely. We even talked. I even talked with Coach Van Horn about the student section that is allowed to release upon them after 3 innings, and that effect that it might have had yesterday on the Arkansas baseball team. So. Yeah, we try to hit them on 5 minutes. I really don't want to go any longer than 5 minutes. So, and I could probably talk with Coach for like 50 minutes about yesterday's game alone. But he's got more valuable things to do as the team is now warming up. You probably can see the Razorbacks warming up right now if you're watching our live stream, and I'll keep that up there for the next till the end of the show, so that you can see how beautiful it is today here in Columbia. It's going to be even more beautiful if Arkansas wins these 2.
We were asking the question just a moment ago, Phil. The bat flip got me thinking of like sports celebrations. We got a few of these text messages coming in, and we'll get to those real quick before we hit this break here. You mentioned one, Bobby Wilson, the former Arkansas Traveler.
I forget which year it was. It might have been like 2006 or 7. And Bobby Wilson, who did get to the big leagues, he was a little heavy set when he was with the Travelers. A guy from Southern California who played with an attitude, good catcher, right-hand hitter, and he was a little bit heavy set. So we're in Tulsa, and the game is going into extra innings. He comes up in the 10th inning with a couple of base runners, and I could hear through the crowd mic fans calling him a fat butt with a different word for butt over and over again, by the way. I mean, by this time, they're probably like, 6 or 7 beers deep. Who knows if it was a Thirsty Thursday or whatever kind of beer promotions they were running, but they certainly were, lubricated well. Bobby hits a 3-run jack for the lead, and as he's coming around third base on his way to the plate, because these fans that are heckling him are sitting behind home, he points at them, he kisses to them.
Oh, wow.
And just walked right into the dugout. It was a beautiful moment. I don't remember if he bat flipped or not, but I did appreciate Bob Moore bat flipper yesterday. That was a thing of beauty.
That's fantastic. Keep these text messages coming in here for this. Best celebrations you've ever seen, 877-377-6963 here on Halftime. We're carrying you till 12:30 today, leading up to the IMG Dugout Show with Phil. He's going to be getting ready. He's going to be jumping off the show here in about 30 minutes to get his ready for that. When we come back, we're going to get on the phones and talk to Aaron Torres of Fox Sports Radio, jump into a big-time college basketball conversation with him and all things fun with Aaron Torres. We'll be back after this quick break. You're listening to Halftime on ESPN Arkansas.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
The remodel sale going on now at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw. You get here to Salisaw Ford, things are a little bit different. Troy, you've moved all of the sales operation over into the north building. The service operation still in the south building as y'all remodel your new showroom.
Yes, we do. Thank you guys. Thank you to all of our customers out here. I mean, without you guys, this wouldn't be happening. So we really do appreciate your business. But come down here and see us. We do have some awesome deals going on right now. We're calling it the remodel sale. The sales department will be in the south building. We do have both entrances open. So come down here and see us and see the deals that we have going on.
You still got manager specials across the front row.
Yes, right when you pull in on the south side, look at all those cars right up front. Those are the manager specials. That is inventory that's been here over 60 days and I need to get it gone. So I'm going to do whatever I can to earn your business on those units. Come down here and see us.
It's the remodel sale at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw. Your local premier dish dealer is World of Wireless, right at the light next door to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling, or call 877-305-DISH. Exclusive offers that you won't find anywhere else, only at World of Wireless.
As a premier retailer, World of Wireless gets to offer you special things, such as a free gift with purchase when you sign up for the new Dish Hopper 3 system. And right now, we're offering the Google Nest Indoor IQ camera. That's a $300 value, absolutely free when you sign up for new service and get installed. But you got to call us at 877-305-DISH. It's a toll-free number, but we are local.
You still get all the features that you want with Dish, the Hopper system, the 2-year price guarantee, plus the camera is a bonus, and this is a high-end camera with all the features, including facial recognition.
Yes, facial recognition. It's easy to sit and show the baby's room, or you can just put it out the window and look at your patio deck, and you can see on your television screen on the Hopper system who is there.
877-305-DISH for all the details and the free camera when you call WOW now. That's 877-305-DISH.
This is Brett Good, former Razorback and Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Everyone loves to be on a winning team. That is why I have joined Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Henderson Phillips can help you tackle all your employee benefit, health insurance, and staffing management solutions. Plus, I can help you with any commercial or personal insurance need. Come join my team at Henderson Phillips. Call me, Brett Good, at 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! X gon' give it to you. Wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real. With the non-stop pop out and stay.
0-2 on Robert Moore. Barr kicks and deals. Swung on, belted by Moore to right field for the second time today. Robert Moore over the fence into the palmetto trees. A 2-run homer by Robert Moore, his second of the game, his 10th of the year. Hogs lead 3-1. What a shot by Robert Moore.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Aaron Torres about to be a little bit surprised because I texted him earlier this morning saying, I'm not sure if I'm going to be on your segment because I've got to be in the dugout to interview Dave Van Horn before this doubleheader. Well, here we are. We've done the interview. And AT,
Look at
I
you.
guess I lied to you, so I'm sorry about that. How are you doing?
It's okay, man. It's okay. I'm starting to question a lot of things about our friendship that has now spanned, probably half a decade at this point, Phil. But listen, you owned up to it. I was expecting, SmackDown to take the whole segment and, kind of do his Colin Cowherd, Jim Rome bit. And, I thought he was riding solo today. So, but it's great to be with you guys, and I'm glad everything's done, Phil. Is this a big doubleheader? I remember like 10 years ago, South Carolina was really good. It feels like there's not much South Carolina buzz these days.
No, they're number 9 in the country in one of the polls. They're ranked in all the polls. They're actually pretty good this year. Got a good pitching staff. But yesterday was only their 3rd home loss of the year. They haven't lost a home series yet. The Arkansas wins 1 of 2 today. There's their first home series loss. By the way, I know, we don't talk college baseball too much, but once we get closer to the postseason, I know that the Arkansas baseball team, you will start to refer to them as your Hogs. We are coming close to that, my friend.
I mean, there's only 2 contingencies. One, if UConn is somehow way better than I am aware of. I know that, George Springer, was there many years ago, Matt Barnes, who played in the bigs, but yeah, as long as UConn's not good, and the Hogs got to be good too. I mean, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. I don't even know. Is it a first round? Is it it's the super regionals. What's the round before the super
regionals? Then the super regionals, and then the College World Series. Yeah.
Yeah, if we're going to lose to Coastal Carolina in the regionals, I mean, I need at least a super regionals run here. Coach Muss has raised the bar for everybody. I don't even tune into the Hogs until the second weekend of the tournament anymore. That's what Coach Muss has done.
You're a spoiled Razorback baseball fan, Aaron Torres.
I will tell you, the Arkansas basketball fan base is about the swaggiest fan base in America right now. I mean, with due respect, one Elite Eight run, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's incredible. But I'm obviously, we talk about it every week. I'm happy for the fan base, and Phil, you and I specifically, Matt, you kind of came on board about 18 months ago, but Phil, you and I, we had to grit our teeth through a lot of tough segments about Razorbacks football and basketball. So it's fun to talk about 2 programs that are very much on the rise. And of course, as you said, I do follow my Hogs on the diamond peripherally, my Omaha Hogs, and I hope to see them back at it's not Rosenblatt anymore, right? Whatever the new stadium is, that's where I hope to see them this year.
TD Ameritrade. I hope so. I think they'll be there, but I can't say that. Well, I just did publicly on a radio show. Anyway, we had Muss on yesterday, and he said something that I thought really speaks to the truth of how special what this past season was for Arkansas basketball. You got a totally different team. Looks like he's rebuilt a really good team, but he did say, look, I mean, you won 12 SEC games, Elite Eight. It's not fair to put the same expectations on the next group of players. That doesn't mean that they can't do it, that they might not make it there or maybe a little bit farther. It just, you have to pay respect to what just happened, right? What they just did.
Well, it's really interesting. For me, I mean, it goes without saying, anyone who's ever listened to me on this show knows I love the sport of college basketball. And it does remind me, and it's not a total apples to apples, but it reminds me of, following Kentucky basketball the second year that John Calipari was there. First year he comes in, he brings in John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins and Eric Bledsoe. Nobody realized it at the time, but I mean, that was in many ways maybe his best overall recruiting class. And I think Kentucky fans just assumed, okay, we're going to get whoever the John Wall is in the next class. That's how it's going to be. And we'll get the next DeMarcus Cousins, and we're going to go, I think they only lost 3 games the entire year. And so ironically, their last one in the Elite Eight. And so I think everybody kind of just assumed, hey, we're going to go 35-3 every year, and we're going to get, every year we're going to have a John Wall type. And obviously, look, it didn't work out that way. Now, they won a national championship. They did, of course, have made multiple Final Fours under the Calipari era, but that was something that Calipari really had to that following season, where I think they were a 4 seed in the tournament. They were respectable 25-8, something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, no, Calipari had to kind of explain that as well. And I think that's something that Razorback fans do have to understand. It's not that they can't get there, not that Chris Likes and Stanley Amude and all the guys coming in aren't going to be special, but that it is a process. And by the way, I would say it's not only fans. I mean, Devo Davis, Jalen Williams, I mean, they've only played 1 year of college basketball and it ended, in the Elite Eight. And so I think that, I know the players probably return late May, early June, whatever it ends up being. And I do think, I would guess that specifically at Arkansas, it's going to be about turning the page, kind of saying, hey, like, last year was incredible, but for those of you guys who were here last year, this is a new team and a new group with new goals and new expectations. And obviously, I think it's also about instilling in the new players, whether it's transfers, high school players, whatever, hey, just because last year's group had success doesn't guarantee anything for this year. So I'm not surprised to hear that, Phil, and I think, coaching is you coach the players, you coach the fans, you coach everybody, but I think it's a totally fair point by Coach Mudd.
Aaron Torres joining us here on Halftime AT. I want to jump around college basketball with some of the biggest stories that are happening right now. I want to ask you about Desi Sills, announcing a couple days ago that he is transferring to Bruce Pearl and to the Auburn Tigers. And we had talked for the past few days, me and Phil. I don't know if there was necessarily like a Twitter battle going on, but Desi tweeting out saying that he can realize his full potential, basically, going to Auburn. Nobody's holding him back anymore. Musselman responded with a tweet that may have been directed with him, just like no selfish players, regardless of that. How do you see Desi Sills fitting in with Bruce Pearl and this Auburn staff?
Well, he's going to be coached hard, and I don't know what happened, and I don't want to criticize. And honestly, man, guys, it's funny. I try to keep my finger on the pulse of a lot of different things, and that is something that Matt, until you bring it up, I was not aware of that, and that's why you guys do such a great job covering the beat, but I wasn't aware of that. One, what I will say is a couple different things. First of all, I feel bad for Desi Sills because this is how it works sometimes in high-level sports, is that he was a really good Hog for a really long time, and, Devo Davis just kind of hit the afterburners in the second half of the season, and you gotta play the guy that's helping you win games. And so, one, I feel bad for Desi Sills because I think he did everything right, at least, publicly. I don't know what happened behind the scenes. And sometimes you just get beat out by a better man. So that's one. Two, he's going to be coached hard by Bruce Pearl, but he's going to have an opportunity there. That Auburn, I think, quietly is one of the really interesting programs in this particular offseason. They lose a lot of the guys that we know, but they've actually themselves picked up a lot of really good transfers. They have one 5-star kid coming in. So, Bruce Pearl was down this year. They're another one that kind of dealt with the NCAA stuff and appear ready to move past it in a big way. It's funny, the programs that were initially involved with that FBI stuff, Oklahoma State was awesome this year, doesn't seem to have missed a beat. Obviously, USC just got finalized their sanctions. We talked about it last week. They made the Elite Eight. And so I only bring it up is Auburn. I do think this was kind of that transition year where recruiting caught up with them. It was hard to bring in elite players outside of Sharif Cooper, but man, they bounced back really nicely. And so I'm really excited to see them next year. But I'll be honest, Matt, I had not even heard that story until you brought it up.
I think it's just something you kind of had to read into, and us being media guys, that's just kind of how it goes here in Arkansas. Want to touch on a couple more things here before I let you go and throw it back over to Phil. I wasn't necessarily critical of the move, but Mike Woodson going to Indiana wasn't necessarily like the sexiest hire, I guess, that Indiana probably could have bought. But good Lord, AT, Mike Woodson is killing it right now on the recruiting trail, my friend.
Yeah, no, I've talked a lot about this in everything that I do. When he was hired, I think it's funny because we all do this stuff and people try to sell certain narratives, and like it was in the middle of the NCAA tournament. Juwan Howard was killing it at Michigan, and I think Indiana tried to sell, hey, this is going to be our Juwan Howard. And I'm just like, dude, to compare a 46-year-old because of an NBA background, a 46-year-old that, by the way, he had 2 sons that were high-level recruits, so he kind of knew how the recruiting game worked, all that stuff. Comparing him to a 63-year-old man that's been out of college basketball for 40 years, I just didn't buy it. And whether it is all Mike Woodson or whether it's, he's made some really smart staff hires around him. He retained Archie Miller's top assistant, a guy by the name of Kenya Hunter. He brought in a young assistant named Dane Fife, who actually played at Indiana and was at Michigan State for the last few years. But no, he's been awesome. He being Mike Woodson. For people who don't follow, first of all, he did what every head coach has to do now, which was re-recruit the players on his roster. There were, I believe, 5 players in the portal when he got there. 4 of them have decided to return to Indiana. Indiana had an all Big Ten big man named Trace Jackson Davis, who is returning for his junior year when, there was speculation he was going to go pro. And he's done a good job. 2 players in the portal, 1 high school player. And so, I'm really impressed. I really am. And I know I get it. He's never coached a game. It's a different kind of deal. I get all that stuff. But I also do kind of really believe that, I'm just blown away by whether it's him specifically, whether it's the group that he's put around him. He's done a good job of kind of doing what every coach has to do this year, which is rebuild his roster on the fly.
Hey, T, want to end on a tough note about Terrence Clark yesterday. It's just tragic, We barely even got a chance to see the kid play. He was going to go into the NBA draft. He was probably a first-rounder. I know a lot of people around the Kentucky fan base and program and KSR, and we'll make fun of Kentucky and all that kind of stuff. None of that matters.
Of course,
this just sucks.
Well, it does. And by the way, I think everybody can kind of differentiate a fan or a media member poking at another fan base on social media with something that's important this year. And listen, I was critical of Terrence Clark this year because there was speculation about quote unquote how injured he was, when he missed most of the season. But all that goes to the back burner. None of it matters. When something like yesterday happens, and it's just. Look, it's tragic. He was a young man. I got the chance to interview him once at one of these All-American camps that comes through LA every summer. Great kid, great energy, always smiling. On the basketball court, he didn't quite have the season that people thought he would at Kentucky. And I know that from a basketball perspective, there was some disappointment there, but to see the Kentucky fan base and how, just hurt they were, and the media members that covered him that had to be critical, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. It's just a tragic event, man. And it's like, no matter what happens, whenever a young person loses his life, whenever a young person, on the precipice of his lifelong dream passes away, it's just awful. There's really nothing else to say. All I can definitively say is I did have the pleasure of interviewing once, just a great young man, dynamic, full of energy, full of personality. Even when he wasn't playing, you saw him waving a towel, smiling, first one to high-five his teammates. And so, as you said, man, just a tragic, tragic, tragic loss. There's no other way to put it, Phil. And I appreciate you giving me a minute to talk about it because it's obviously a sad thing to end on, but it's an important thing to kind of discuss his life and legacy.
Yeah. I really feel terrible for the people he was close with, his family, teammates, administrators, coaches that got to know him. So, yeah. But we'll end it with that and hopefully have better things to end on next week, AT. Appreciate your time, as always. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, guys. Talk soon.
Make sure to download the latest edition of the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast anywhere you get your podcast. I get mine on Apple. And he's on Fox Sports Radio tomorrow night. Aaron Torres every Friday here on Halftime. Hey, don't forget about the Yumbrella Flash Mob Junior. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Yumbrella Flash Mob Junior. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Yumbrella Flash Mob Junior will catch them. Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place carry them. The Yumbrella Flash Mob Junior. All right, I got one more segment with you. 877-377-6963. Right back.
Game Time Energy, lifetime experience. Learn more about Buffalo Wild Wings and why it's a great place to work. Apply today at workthenumber4wings.com. You'll be working with the hottest brand around and having tons of fun doing it. Welcome to the big time.
Join the winning team at Buffalo Wild Wings. We are hiring. Apply now at workthenumber4wings.com. Competitive pay, team member discounts, flexible schedule, insurance options, incentive contests, and much more. Work where every day is game day. Roar!
Are your real estate investments being properly managed? Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
What's your new obsession? If it's diving lessons, Ocean Impact Dive Shop, Western Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma's premier dive shop is waiting on you. Ocean Impact is a full-service, 5-star dive and retail center offering lessons, gear rental, dive travel, and a full repair facility. Ocean Impact Dive Shop, 2127 South 56th Street in Fort Smith. Open Monday through Friday, 10:30 to 5:30, and Saturday from 11 to 3. Don't wait. Summer is just around the corner. Get to Ocean Impact Dive Shop. Come get your dive on.
If you're looking for an all-you-can-eat catfish destination, head to the Catfish Kitchen in Van Buren. Now serving family-style, all-you-can-eat catfish, chicken tenders, fried shrimp, fries, and all the fixins'. All-you-can-eat family-style for only $22.95. The Catfish Kitchen still has 2- and 4-piece dinners available. Head to the Catfish Kitchen in Van Buren. Now open Wednesday through Saturday, 11 till 8. The Catfish Kitchen at the top of Logtown Hill, across from the police station in Van Buren.
Do you want to work for a trucking company with state-of-the-art technology? A trucking company that will give you the tools to do your job and make a great living and come home safe? Of course you do. That company you want to work for is Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry. Brent and Connie Higgins genuinely care about your future and your family. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Call them today at 479-997-2366 or apply online at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
Frank Row Furniture is having an April Super Stimulus and Tax Refund Sale. Save hundreds of dollars. Sofas, loves, sectionals, and recliners, all made in the USA. Big savings for our finance customers and extremely large savings on cash sales. Family owned, in-store no credit check financing, and service after the sale. Frank Row Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Hey, grounds guys.
Hey, what?
I've got one guy that mows my yard, another guy that sprays for weeds, another group that does my landscaping, and I'm probably forgetting someone that does something else. Wouldn't it be easier to just call one place for all my yard work?
You betcha. When it comes to yard work, just call the grounds guys. Mowing, maintenance, weed control, landscaping. We do it all. Call 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-GUYS. Or visit groundsguys.com in Northwest Arkansas and the Fort Smith area. The Grounds Guys. Leave the yard work to us.
For more than 80 years, Forsgren Inc. has been building the foundations of the River Valley and beyond. Forsgren, a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence, is now hiring experienced dump truck drivers. CDL Class A or B license with medical card is required. Apply now from any mobile device at ForsgrenInc.com, a heritage company and a premier employer. Forsgren offers top wages and benefits. Apply today at ForsgrenInc.com. Become part of the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device at ForsgrenInc.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
First pitch on the way. Swung on and belted high and deep to right by Moore. Eister's back to the wall. That's out of here. Robert Moore with the first base hit, the first run, and the Razorbacks take the lead in the second on his 9th of the season.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
All right, I'm wrapping up my time on halftime. Matty T and SmackDown will take you through 12 o'clock to 12:30. I still get so screwed up when I come here to the Eastern time zone. You know what's worse? The worst thing is sometimes when you fly to Auburn, you have to fly to Columbus, Georgia, which is, over the river and in a different time zone than Auburn, though it's only 15, 20 minutes away from Auburn. So you leave Central time zone, you fly to the Eastern time zone, you get on a bus, and then you drive back into Central time zone. It just screws me up. I've never done well with the time change stuff, and this is maybe one of the big reasons that I really want to do away with spring forward and fall back. Can we just have Can we just have daylight savings time all the time, please?
That'd be fine. That'd be fine.
I prefer that.
Yeah, it's 12:50 there right now.
Yeah, this is an interesting experience. Writing in the lineups and the statistics in my scorebook while we're talking with Aaron Torres and in the middle of the commercial breaks. This is fun. We should never do this again. Playing a Friday afternoon ball game feels a little bit weird, but after this, since there's no game on Tuesday, that's been canceled because of COVID issues with Missouri State. The Hogs don't play for a week.
That's a long time to go without Razorback baseball.
Yeah, no kidding, especially for those of us who've been paying attention to every single pitch, and you haven't had a week off like this yet.
Do you think that will benefit them, or?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think at this point, rest is going to be a good thing. Rest or rust, that's the whole idea. I know. And they can get out and have an intra-squad on Tuesday and have a hard practice and all that so that they won't really be rusted. It's just you won't be going up against an opponent. Now, I don't really know how good Missouri State is this year. That's usually one that, juices the goose a little bit because that's one of your out-of-conference rivals. So it's too bad we can't play them this season.
Do you think that we've had I remember a few texters and people messaged on the Morning Rush. Do you think there's a chance that they could, maybe schedule an Oral Roberts Tuesday night or something just to get a game in, or do you think they'll take advantage of that, just the time off and rest up and get ready?
I think they'd rather play somebody. I know Oral Roberts doesn't have a Tuesday game, but ORU's playing 2 today, and then they play Saturday and Sunday. So do they really want to do that? Plus, I know David already said it's kind of difficult to get teams to commit to traveling at this time of the year. And the teams that might be able to travel, you've already played them. They're deep into their conference season. And, right now, conference is what matters most. So, you got to pay somebody to come in. They got to commit to doing it. There's the COVID testing they'll have to do when they get there. So I'd be surprised if they're able to schedule somebody for Tuesday. But I don't think it'll hurt them very much because usually – an intra-squad game for Razorback versus Razorback, which they haven't done in a long time, that's better than the opponent that they usually play out of conference. This is that good. This is that good of a baseball team right now. Anyway, we should get to some of these texts. James, I don't know if you read all of these or not.
Nope,
James and Haskell loved Robert's bat flip. Perfect. Not Bautista flashy, but enough to say. You know what it was? It was really more of a bat flip drop because it was part of the follow-through. That's what made it look so stylish.
Just looked natural in a way.
It did.
And I agree with him, whereas Jose Bautista's was more flashy, but cocky, I guess is the way to say it, maybe.
Well, there was anger involved in Bautista's,
arrogance,
I think, because those teams didn't like each other. That also was a playoff game.
Who were they playing in that ball game? Was it the
Rangers? You remember, the next year, the year after, Bautista slid into second base and Rugnet Odor socked him in the face. That all went back to that. So I don't think you're going to deal with that sort of thing with Bob Moore bat flipper.
That was when his sunglasses just went flying, wasn't it? He just got clocked in the jaw. And then
that's exactly right. Yeah. Josh in Springfield remembers an Albert Pujols home run from 2007 versus Houston. Oh, I remember that one too. I think that was off of Brad Lidge. Yeah. I think I remember that home run you're talking about, Josh, in Springfield. Which tells me you're probably a Cardinals fan if you're from Springfield. Well, and you're talking about Pujols anyway, so yeah. Greg in Fort Smith wants you to play some Digital Underground.
Will do. Yeah, R.I.P. to
Shock G.
That's right.
You two are going to have to refresh me on that. I saw this on Twitter, so I've never heard of Digital Underground.
I don't know any other songs other than the Humpty Dance.
But yo, I'm making money.
Busy in a Burger King bathroom and all of that. I know I've heard other songs there. I just don't know the title. Yeah, gone too soon. Brandon
Tupac
in Paris.
Shakur was a background dancer.
He was.
No kidding?
Yep.
Huh. I'll be.
How and you learn something new every day. Thank you, Maddie. Brandon in Paris thinks of celebrations. He thinks of Hank Aaron breaking the home run record and fans patting him on the back as he rounds the base. You have to remember, like, those fans, I think Hank Aaron was a little worried that maybe those fans were trying to kill him because he was getting hate mail and threat that was threatening after him. People were threatening to shoot him. So it's one of the aspects of that. But those two men said that they ran onto the field, I think almost to, like, protect him in a sense. What a moment. I agree with you. That is one of the big ones. And I saw somebody also mention, Art and Rogers, the 83 NCAA basketball title, Jimmy V. It's NC State with the upset win on the putback dunk. And he's running around looking to hug somebody. He couldn't find anyone to hug.
It's one of those iconic videos that they always play during March Madness, and him just running. Yeah, that's a really good one. That's a darn good one. I mentioned when we started that segment off before you got back on, like Matt Jones dunking on the goalpost. I did mention the Jose Bautista that bat flip just because it's iconic. It's one of those things that'll just stick with you forever. And that, like, Robert Moore's bat flip is going to be something that, for all positive reasons, like, it's not a bad thing at all. Like, that's going to be something that he'll remember and that'll stick with him for a long time with Razorback fans.
Well, and here's a text that gets to the idea of maybe what you risk when something like that happens. It's out of the 479. He loves more swagger, but thinks he better be careful or he's going to dig baseballs out of his ear hole. I will say this. Any pitching staff that willfully puts Arkansas batters on base is doing their team a disservice. You don't put batters on base just because against the number one team in the nation that it's more home runs than anybody else. That would just be stupidity. So let Bob Moore be bat flipper, and if I'm Carolina or any other pitching staff, I would just focus on throwing strikes, not at somebody's head. All right, the boys are taking you through the rest of the show, and I will see you probably in about 34 minutes for the IMG Dugout Show. So, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Hey, SmackDown, have a great time tonight, man. I'm excited for you.
Appreciate it, my
Matty
friend.
T, have you a good weekend, too. I'll see you guys
Phil.
on the other side.
The 2021s have arrived at Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal. A lot of dealers don't have the selection of 21 models. You've got them here at Salisal Ford.
Definitely, we do, Tommy. Come down here and see us. I'm telling you, we've got F-150s, we've got the F-250 Super Duty, the diesels, we've got the Ford Explorers, the Ford Expeditions. I mean, we have the inventory right now. If you're looking for a new car and you can't find it anywhere, come down here and see us at Harry Robinson Salisal Ford. We've got the selection.
You still have 2 remaining 2020 models. They're both EcoSports and some great money off, great deals on these 2 models.
Yes, Ford is offering some awesome rebates, and also we're throwing dealer discounts on top of it. So right now is the time to buy. Come down here and see us. I only have 2 2020s remaining, and I need to get those out of here. Come down here and see us.
All right, get these awesome deals while they last and check out the 2021s at Harry Robinson Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal, and always online at harryrobinson.com.
Introducing Budweiser Zero. 0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar. Full Budweiser flavor. For all the moments you want a beer and need to stay on your game. Budweiser Zero. 0 alcohol, 0 compromise.
Ramos Roofing is a local roofing company and have over 25 years of experience in the Oklahoma area. Are you looking for a residential or commercial roofing need? Ramos Roofing is the business you can trust, offering discounts for senior citizens, law enforcement, and healthcare workers. Ramos Roofing can help you with your insurance claim. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home. Call 479-420-9903. That's 479-420-9903 for Ramos Roofing.
Give potted plants a healthy start with Scott's Miracle Grow Potting Mix from Metters Lumber True Value. Right now, get 1 cubic foot of coverage for $6.99 after a $2 instant rebate for True Value Rewards members while supplies last. Its rich organic materials help improve drainage and airflow with a 6-month fee. Make sure you visit Metters Lumber True Value today for this bargain of the month and other products to help keep your garden green all season long. Certain exclusions apply. See store for details.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Widespread showers and thunderstorms with us today. Our high this afternoon will be into the middle 60s. We will see widespread wet and stormy weather again tonight. Overnight lows in the low to mid 50s. And then Saturday we'll see a chance of mainly morning showers and storms. Our high mid 60s north, low 70s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Ramos Roofing, specializing in all roofing needs. 479-420-9903.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Because this is a proud damn state.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Arkansas wins! The Hogs are still dancing to the Elite Eight for the first time since 1995.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Last 30 minutes for you of halftime here today. Phil's getting ready for the Razorbacks game 2, or I guess doubleheader today would be the better way to put it. Doubleheader versus South Carolina. That'll be coming up here at 12:30 p.m. if you're listening on 95.3, 96.3, 104.3 for our ESPN Northwest Arkansas affiliates up there. You'll be carried over to ESPN National Programming following the conclusion of our show today. Phil's getting ready, so you get a double Matt special for the conclusion of the show. I'm SmackDown. Matty T anchoring it down right now in Fort Smith.
In SmackDown, how they're doing it today, also it's different than a typical doubleheader where they would just have two games back-to-back. There's going to be time in between, so maybe there might be an hour gap after the end of the first broadcast, and then the second one will pick up at 5:30 for the new pregame and leading into the first pitch at 6.
Because normally, like these past two doubleheaders, it's been like an hour break-ish, give or take.
Yeah, and they would do something to cover,
Something to cover it up, yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So, yeah, make sure you stay tuned. Doubleheader.
Yeah, so if you turn it on, at like 5 o'clock and you're, on 95.3 or one of these that we're carrying it and you hear ESPN, that's why it'll pick back up.
So we'll be having that for you. And like Matty T said, I'll be across all ESPN Arkansas airwaves on 95.3, 96.3, 104.3 with Fort Smith, Mena, Hot Springs.
Yeah, streaming online, hitthatline.com.
Absolutely. And then if you're in the Northwest Arkansas area, you can find you a place up there or on the ArkansasRazorbacks.com app that you can download and you can listen to Phil's call, which is the best way to do it. And if you're wanting to watch it, I believe it's on SEC Network Plus today, which I've mentioned this before, Maddie. I think it may have been last week when we did get off our line. It doesn't make sense to me that the number one team in the country has played on like an online platform more than playing on like national, like on the actual SEC Network, ESPN, and different things like that.
But do you think people are now tech savvy enough that it really doesn't make any difference, that if you want to watch the game, you know how to get it?
And that's fair, and that's a good point.
Is there a bigger draw, in reality to the main channel anymore?
Probably not.
Because I mean, you're a ESPN guy. You got the login information that I borrowed a few times.
And I guarantee, like you. You're a good example of that. All my friends, like we all have.
I'm pure streaming. I'm all streaming.
We're pure streaming. So I mean, I guess for young people it doesn't matter as much, but I think for some it's just the old school perception. You're on the SEC Network Plus channel while Alabama Auburn's on the SEC Network on. I think it's just like that perception of it, but you're right. I mean, it's just everything is streamed now. So, I mean, maybe I'm making a bigger deal out of it than I should be, but it's just kind of, I don't know, something that kind of grinds my gears a little bit. But it is what it is. SEC Network Plus, if you want to watch it, and you can mute the audio and get the illustrious voice of Phil Elson coming up today. And, again, that starts at 12:30 with the Dugout Show following our show here today.
Oh, okay. So, like, Chris in Fayetteville does have a good point about that. His biggest complaint with the SEC Plus is that, like, a lot of restaurants and places may not have it.
That's a good point. Yeah, you can go to, like, Joe's Grill and Cantina. They'll have it.
They'll stream it.
They'll stream it. They'll always have it for you. But, yeah, you're right. Some of those restaurants may not necessarily have that kind of access to it. But Chris in Fayetteville, I'm trying to think of, like, some – You could probably make your way to JJ's in Fayetteville. I'm sure that they would have it. They're a good friend of our show. So,
I've read negative reviews of places on Facebook because they weren't able to carry a specific game, Yeah. So somebody will, judge a whole place based on whether or not they're carrying the game or not.
Just off that weird deal. So, no matter what, you'll find it on here today. Doubleheader today. No games tomorrow because of the rain, so that'll get that done today. And you were asking some good questions, Matt, about this team. Will the week off help or hurt this team? And I'm tending to lean more on the side that this will help this team because, you're on short rest at this point. If you can, and not necessarily Band-Aid through, because I think now with you only pitching 4 guys yesterday, you had Caleb Bolden play really well yesterday. You've got Ryan Kostu, Monke, and Kevin Kopp's all pitched really well in limited innings. Kevin Kopp's only given you 3 innings of work, but was just pure and utter domination in those 3 innings. You've got some options today heading into this doubleheader that you can throw a lot of guys today, and you get the benefit of the week off heading into LSU next Friday. I think if this was like basketball, Matty, or football, I think that would probably be a little bit more of a concern not having game shape. But baseball players are wired different. All athletes are. So I think this will really tend to help the Razorbacks moving forward. But it's going to be weird next week. I'm used to pulling – when I actually remember, pulling highlights obviously, Monday morning I'll be able to from this doubleheader prior to our show, but it's going to be an odd week next week. No baseball till next Friday. So
that's right.
It's going to be a fun week, and we'll obviously a lot of our conversation next week is going to be floating around the NFL draft. Felipe Franks, Rakeem Boyd, all those boys. Jonathan Marshall going to be looking to get drafted into the NFL, and I'm sure between Phil and myself and everybody here on the Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, going to give you a lot of NFL draft coverage next week. Got a few texts. Go ahead.
Austin and Ozark, instead of just texting back to him, I'll tell everybody. In between the games today, since I don't know how much time is going to be in between to program it, we're not going to go to Ruskin and Zach for that little time. It'll just be an ESPN buffer in between the 2 games there.
Cool. Awesome. That's good question, Austin. We appreciate that. 877-377-6963 is the number to call or text. And you want to jump in on any of the conversation. Your favorite celebration doesn't necessarily have to be baseball. Can be any sport. We're kind of tallying this question off of Robert Moore's bat flip that he had earlier in the year or earlier last night. Rob texted in out of the 417 Matty T. Dale Earnhardt's win at the Daytona 500. It was hands down his favorite celebration of all time. Do you remember? Were you a big night? Are you?
I'm not, but everybody knows Dale Earnhardt.
Right.
And I was going to ask you the same thing. Did you grow up as a watching NASCAR?
Not like a huge NASCAR fan, but definitely if it was on a Sunday, we would watch the start of it and the end of it. And I enjoyed it. I
always thought it was cool, and I enjoyed playing the NASCAR video games.
Those were always fun. Those were always fun trying to wreck everybody.
I think you're playing it wrong.
Yeah, probably so. Maybe I was playing it more like Mario Kart than actual NASCAR.
Throwing turtle shells at people?
Throwing turtle shells and fire bombs and everything else at them. No, I remember that. I think I was in third. Let's see. That was Rob. Text in and tell me what year that. I'm blanking on the year that he was mid 90s, I believe, is when he won it. Because I'm my mind right now is going back to his last Daytona 500 when he died. Which obviously is not a celebration at all, but that's the first thing you think of, Maddie's with Dale Earnhardt, you immediately go to.
I'm seeing
that
1998.
98. I knew it was late 90s heading into the millennium, so 98 for Dale Earnhardt winning that Daytona 500. That was a great celebration. I remember that. And I think probably to tally off that, Rob, because I assume you're a big NASCAR fan yourself, I remember too when Dale Earnhardt Jr. won his first Daytona 500. I think it was the July race when they came back through Daytona. And just the pure and utter celebration, just not so far after his dad died. So lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff there. B. in Clarksville text in, Maddie. I think this is more of a question for you, asking about have you watched Tom Hanks' new movie, News of the World?
I did, and it was pretty good.
Is that an Apple TV one, or is that
no? It was one that was released in theaters and is on video and on demand now.
What was there was a new one that Tom Hanks was releasing.
The Oscars are Sunday night too, SmackDown. I know everybody's excited about that.
I forgot about the Oscars. That'll be fun to watch this weekend. Let's see here. We read through Austin's text. Chris and Fayetteville. Yeah, we talked about that. Robert and Van Buren. Going back to the Shock G with Digital Underground. Now, who was it? Shock G that died? I'll make sure I'm saying this correctly.
Yes, from Digital Underground.
Robert and Van Buren texted and said Chevy Chase Demi Moore movie, Nothing But Trouble. Shock G with Digital Underground performed in the courtroom, and Tupac was in one of the background singers in the movie. I never heard of that movie.
Yeah, it's not very good. I can't remember if it was Dan Aykroyd directed it, I think, but he's Yeah, it was a not a great film.
Was that like an SNL film or something like with all the SNL alums or?
I don't think it was. No, I don't think it was necessarily an SNL film, but it was just one of those. That wasn't a huge success. It was weird. Yeah. I mean, because I liked John Candy and would watch anything John Candy was in, and it's one of the movies that I don't like that he's in.
Fair enough for me. Drew in Russellville remembers the Chicago Cubs celebration after their 108-year World Series drought. That is a great. That's a great celebration right there. JT in Hot Springs says 2001's when he died, and Junior winning in July. That's a good one, JT, and it's one of those memories that one of us will always remember. Great celebrations on all accounts. Me and Matty T have got one more segment for you guys coming up here on halftime. Later on today when we come back, we're going to have our Alexander Dumas of the Week coming up here next on halftime. But if you need a place to go hang out tonight, there's going to be a little bit of weather in the area. You need a place to go hang out. That's 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge in Fort Smith. 479-434-4343 is the phone number you want to call or text in over there. Check out some great deals over there at 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. They've got their state-of-the-art airflow system. So if you're on a date or anything like that, you can go in there, have yourself a great time at 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Let's see. They've got some good music specials going on tonight. You can check out their website, 906lounge.com, and check out who they've got coming up today at 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. One segment left coming up on halftime. It's time for your Dumas of the Week next here on Halftime.
This is Trusting the Process.
Mike Irwin of the Pig Trail Nation with us.
I got to know people here, the fans, the passion they have. There's no fans anywhere like Razorback fans. This is the best place in America. I feel like I'm Sam Pittman here, but this is the best place in America to cover college sports.
Hear Arkansas sports media member stories on Trusting the Process every Friday on hitthatline.com and wherever you listen to podcasts.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and B.F. Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
Fitness will always be about keeping a routine. And the best routines in life will always make time for enjoying yourself. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
New Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
A hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor?
Yep.
Can I try one?
Yep.
That tastes great.
Told ya.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S.
A dandy white perch, big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch, Big old.
With the representation you need to make it come true. NickandEllie.com. Equal housing opportunity. Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
The all-new 2021 Ford Bronco Sport Badlands is available now at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. The Bronco Sport Badlands Edition is perfect for anywhere outdoors. With its built-in tent and canopy, you can enjoy your favorite campsite. The Bronco Sport Badlands, with all the new features, is priced under $40,000 after rebates. Come test drive the all-new 2021 Ford Bronco today at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Opitz wants it on the outside corner. The pitch is hit in the air to deep left field. Trouble. Gregory's there, leaping at the wall. Gregory made the catch for the third out. Wouldn't have been a home run, but he took it off the top of the wall. Zach Gregory near the fence. Highlight that man.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Have a smart speaker? Just say play ESPN Arkansas to listen to Halftime anywhere you go.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
So, Matty, this is the Humpty Dance from Digital Underground.
That's correct. This is the late Shock G.
Late Shock G.
Yeah, this song was huge.
What year would this been?
Oh gosh, before I Google it, I'm gonna say 1991. And let me Google it and see what it actually
says. This sounds
says.
like a 90s groove.
Okay, released 1990.
1990. Okay, cool, awesome. I had heard of this song before, never really listened to Digital Underground, so yeah, this is a good song.
Yeah, I didn't really listen to him either, except for this one song. Like Phil was saying earlier, probably couldn't name another Digital Underground song. But
I don't want to be.
But yeah, so in the music video and everything, yeah, you see a pre-famous Tupac Shakur as a background dancer.
I don't want to be disrespectful on the Shock G and him passing, but is it fair for me? Like, are they one hit? Is Digital Underground like a one-hit wonder?
That's very fair to say, yes.
Okay.
And I think, God, it must have been 10 years ago. They were at Riverfest. And my buddy volunteered for Riverfest and got Shock G to do a shout-out message to his wife that he shared again, like an RIP on Facebook today.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, cool that the guy was actually nice enough to do that kind of stuff.
Nice enough to do it. I wonder if
I don't know what his cause of death is or anything, but
I wonder if Riverfest will ever be a thing again.
Man, the last few years were, yeah, we're done. I saw a lot of good shows there.
Lots of good shows. I think there's a big one at Fort Smith that's coming here this summer.
The Peacemaker
Festival.
You got tickets for that, didn't you?
Yeah,
you and somebody.
Me and somebody that we broke Facebook last night because of certain things that we put on Facebook last night. So
that was really sweet.
Yeah,
y'all made it Facebook official, even though it's been official on the radio for months and months.
It's been official if you've been following on Twitter. It's been official, but I guess, Matty, it's not. It's official when it hits Facebook, right?
That's right.
That's like
if it's not on Facebook, it didn't happen.
Exactly, it never happened. So yeah, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you know what I'm talking about because I'm not going to say it because I am running out of money to get fined here.
You're saving up that money for some big announcement, huh?
See, the last time we brought this up, Brandon and Paris jumped way on that. He jumped on the bandwagon way too quick. So, I mean, yes, we will get to that point here sometime soon. Before we get into our Doom All the Week, I want to mention two things. First, JT in Hot Springs. I'll mention both these texts. Text out of the 501 talking about celebrations. Michael Quall's buzzer beater dunk against Kentucky and Stephon Diggs playoff touchdown versus the Saints in 2018. That celebration was pure epic. I remember that coming out of the 501. I believe that's my man Tyler that texted that in. So JT in Hot Springs, Matty, we were just playing the Humpty Dance. Do you remember seeing the video or the audio clip off Ruskin and Zach Orange rapping to Humpty Dance?
No. How did this
I think it just got. I think it got brought up organically, just kind of like how it did here today. But there's a video. I'll see if I can find it. It might be on Zach's personal Twitter account. I know it's on the Ruskin and Zach Twitter account. But Zach Arn's doing a fairly good job rapping the Humpty Dance. I'll give him credit with that. It's a couple months ago, so we might have to dig back through the Twitter machine with that. But that's a great memory there. Last thing I want to mention, he's sitting right here, and he's probably listening right now. Matty T, Dallas Hall, one of my best friends here from Tech.
That sounds like a wrestler name.
He's a huge wrestling fan. He's part of the reason why I'm so addicted to this. I had two buddies at ASUBB.
He's the reason. He's the guy.
Oh. So I had two guys at ASUBB before I came here to Tech. They kind of planted the seeds for my wrestling fandom. Dallas threw it over the top. with my wrestling fandom. He's doing his big graduate presentation today, presenting for the whole journalism faculty here to get his master's degree in multimedia journalism, which is nerve-wracking as hell because I've done it before. So wanted to give him a little bit of love here today. All right, that's enough lovey-dovey. Let's make fun of people. This is your Alexander Dumas of the week.
And I was wondering what Dumas would make of all this. Come again. Alexandre Dumas. He wrote The Three Musketeers.
Are you stupid or something?
Are you stupid?
I don't think so, no. Did you eat a lot of paint chips when you were a kid?
Stupid is as stupid does, sir.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
What was supposed to do, you moron?
Calm down. Have some dip.
Are you crazy or just plain stupid?
Mama says stupid is as stupid does.
So you're a smart man who said some really stupid things.
Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas.
Dumas. You know what that's about?
We're talking about our idiot kicker who got liquored up and ran his mouth off.
You're so stupid!
And our Alexander Dumas of the week this week, Matty T, is brought to you by our friends over at the Fence Man.
That's right. You know, there's a lot of Dumas in this world, but you know who's not a Dumas? The Fence Man. If you've always wanted a powered automatic gate at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom rod iron installation, automatic gates, controlled access systems, camera and security installations, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing. For your custom fence and gate needs, call The Fence Man. 479-782-3939. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Oh, my God. Whoa. Man. Whoa. My ear.
You know who to call.
You damn right you know who to call. Goodness gracious. I'm calling the Fence Man after the show.
You better. Do it or else.
Or else. I love it. All right. Got a great deal. I was having a hard time finding one, and then Phil, God bless his soul, sent me the best Dumas we've had in quite a long time.
If you need a Dumas, ask Phil. He'll point you in the right direction.
This is coming from BBC.com, coming out of England, Matty T. An IT teacher has been put on administrative leave for taking students to a strip club.
Wait, I thought this was a story about a Dumas, not the coolest teacher in the world.
Well, it may be cool to us, but
yeah.
To a high school
if you were one of these kids' parents, you probably wouldn't think it was
probably
cool.
A little bit. The Richard Glenn is the guy's name. He's a
hip 55-year-old.
Yes, he took a kids to a school trip for some reason to Costa Rica. I don't know exactly
what school is this. Bayside High?
I guess I honestly don't know. The misconduct panel heard Mr. Glenn, who taught computer science and had been the head of this program since 2007. Going back to this trip, he was supposed to be there until July 28th, but 6 days was sent home due to his behavior. Here's some of the stuff that this Richard Glenn guy did: drinking with pupils, and this is. Pupils being students, Matty T. I don't know if you're...
not eyeballs.
No, not eyeballs. Okay. This is actually kids. So drinking with pupils, allowing one or more of those pupils to drink alcohol despite being under the age of 18, threatening to, quote, kick the head in of one pupil and to, quote, kill another.
Wow, this guy...
We're just getting started. He told one pupil, I'm not in trouble, you're in trouble. It gets better. After being aggressive to one pupil, he kissed the boy's forehead and told him, you all right?
Oh, my God, what a creep.
Taking one or more pupils to a strip club, acting aggressively towards females, and then he exposed himself, although it was agreed that it was not, quote, malicious or sexually motivated.
It was just a goof?
Yeah, it was just a goof, apparently, which just like this guy.
Gosh.
So the panel met with him.
This guy needs to be in jail.
He's been on 3 years administratively from the school. After the 3 years have elapsed, Matty T, though, he can reapply. He'll need to apply for the ban to be lifted if he wants to begin teaching again. And I don't know the translation from euros to like U.S. dollars, but apparently this trip and everything that occurred cost him 4,850 euros for whatever that's worth. I don't know how much that is.
I clicked the link to this story, too, and I'm seeing a picture of this guy. He's a goofy-looking dude.
He's got a very big Michael Strahan tooth gap.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive.
But just a very – he looks like a creep.
Probably
you wouldn't – like, if he was your kid's teacher, you'd want to talk to the principal and ask if they could be transferred to another class.
Although I am kind of – I mean, I'll give the guy credit. He took the kids to Costa Rica. Now, that's a haul from England. Yeah, on his own dime. Good for him. But you can't be taking students to a strip
he clearly
club.
had other intentions.
He clearly did.
He's exposing himself.
Exposing himself. He wanted to, quote, kick him in the head.
But I do like that it does specify. Yeah, he exposed himself, but it was not malicious or sexually motivated.
Well, why do you expose? Why would you expose yourself then if it's
You should never do that unless it's
never.
Consensual.
Absolutely. Never in a million
and
years.
in privacy, please.
That's fantastic. All right, Matty T, we have done our due diligence of the day. Coming up next here on Halftime, if you're listening on 95.3, 104.3, 96.3, Razorback Baseball coming up next with the IMG Dugout Show. Phil Elson will have the call for you coming up next. If you're in Northwest Arkansas, you'll be tuning in to ESPN National Programming. Stay tuned here to ESPN Arkansas all afternoon. We'll have Razorback Baseball all afternoon. 1 p.m. first pitch. 6 p.m. first pitch for Game 3 of the doubleheader coming up today. 1:30 pregame or 12:30 pregame show coming up next. 5:30 this afternoon. Matty T, have yourself a great weekend, my friend. Let's relax and let's have a big time this weekend.
Yeah, and have fun spinning the vinyl tonight.
Going to be lots of pictures. You can see. Follow me on Twitter at MattJenkins44. I'll be posting a lot of pictures. For Phil, that's Matty T. I'm SmackDown. Get up, get out, and have yourself a darn good weekend.